Boy, Dinah, I hope you had a better day than I had. Look at this. It's an invitation for my parents to come to open house at school so they can meet our new principal. She's coming over from a school across town, and I heard she's really strict. Mrs. Harrison, our last principal, was so nice. I'm not going to have any fun this year if this new principal is as mean as everyone says. Well, at least there's one place I can go that's always fun.
Is terrible.
Completely terrible. Perfectly terrible. Terribly terrible.
What's terrible?
The news.
It's terrible news.
What is it about the news that's so bad?
Everything about it.
Have you guys heard the bad news? Isn't it just terrible?
What? What's the problem? Someone please tell me.
What, can't you see, Alice? I'm sure it's written all over my face.
No, it looks like you washed it off.
Oh, well then let me explain. A walrus is moving to Wonderland.
A walrus? Why is that bad?
Believe me, you don't want to know.
Yes,
I do.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Walruses are terrible creatures. I've heard the most awful things about them.
I've heard they smell like old seaweed.
I've heard they talk with their mouths full and even burp out loud. I mean, can you imagine such terrible manners?
I've heard they always lie. Walruses make up stories about things that aren't real.
A walrus will tell you your shoe's untied when it's not, but you look down anyway and everyone laughs at you because you fell for that old trick.
Gee, you guys know a lot about walruses.
Oh, yeah, you gotta stay on top of these things, you know.
I guess you've all met them before.
Hey,
Oh, well, no, not actually, not in person.
But who would want to?
Everyone says beware the walrus.
There is one thing for sure that you don't want to meet in your house, down the road, on a boat, or in the street.
Walruses are bad, that's how the story goes. We've been told by those who were told by those who know to. Beware the walrus! Beware the walrus!
I hear that walruses lie and they smell really rank, that they're dumb and they're cruel, they belong in a fish tank.
We don't want any walrus here in Wonderland. We've heard all about them and we clearly understand, so beware the walrus! Beware the walrus! Who cares if we've never seen one? We've been told they're really bad news. It's bound to be a nasty, mean one. Everybody here is sure to lose. So we're here to warn ya. Beware the walrus. Beware the walrus. Beware the walrus. Beware the walrus.
Well, let's talk to the queen. After all, she's in charge. She can tell the walrus to go away.
You better stay behind, Alice. This is a job for grown-ups.
Yes.
Please, Your Majesty.
You're the only one who can do something about the walrus!
Please don't allow it to come here to live. 'Cause if you do, other walruses will probably move in too.
So, the reason Wonderland is so wonderful is that all different kinds of people and creatures live here.
But walruses are too different.
You've got to stop it from coming!
Look, in all the years that I ruled here, in all the years that my mother ruled before me, in all the years her mother, my grandmother, ruled before her, and in all the years that where was I? I have no idea. Well, anyway, my point is, no ruler of Wonderland has ever excluded anyone, told them that they couldn't live here. That's just not how we do things.
I wish you'd change your mind.
I wish you'd give me some of that candy.
Oh, stop that! I'll think about this walrus thing and I'll let you know. Oh, how rough. Caterpillar, we need to talk.
I'd love to, Your Majesty, but I've really got to get to the library.
There's a walrus coming to Wonderland, and everyone wants me to order it to go away. It's supposed to be quite unpleasant, you know.
Yes, I've heard, but I've really got to get
However,
going.
perhaps I should at least talk to this creature before passing judgment. Do you have any advice?
Advice? You want advice from me? Well, now that I think about it, I could stay long enough to read you this story. Once there was a dog named Doug and a cat named Kate who grew up as best friends. They played the same games, they liked the same food, they even learned to speak each other's language. But eventually, they grew up, and Doug met some other dogs who made fun of him about Kate. How can you be friends with a cat, they teased. Everyone knows that cats and dogs don't mix. And so sadly, Doug stopped being friends with Kate. But Doug's new friends weren't good dogs. One day, someone complained to the dog catcher about the bad dogs. Doug's so-called friends ran off and left him to take the blame. Doug was scared. He didn't know where to turn. And then he remembered his old friend Kate the cat. Kate helped Doug hide, and when the dog catcher came, he was sure Doug wasn't there, because as everyone knows, dogs and cats don't mix. And so Doug learned who his true friend was. From that day, he vowed he and Kate would always stay friends, no matter what anyone said. After all, who says cats and dogs have to fight like cats and dogs?
I see. If cats and dogs can be friends, maybe walruses and rabbits could be friends. I think we should give the walrus a chance. Good story, Caterpillar.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Now, if I may go to the library...
You know, you really should get to the library. This book is almost overdue. All right, listen up. I've made my decision. If the walrus wants to live here, that's fine with me. We're not going to exclude him.
Your Majesty! Are you kidding?
I don't think she's kidding.
Wonderland is open to everyone. Whatever this walrus may be like, you'll just have to learn to live with it.
Oh, wait a minute!
Is that your final decision?
Yes. Wonderland has always been a friendly place. And as long as I'm queen, it's going to stay friendly. Whether you like it or not. Wonderland is a happy place, so I want to see you all with a happy face. It's our grand tradition from the earliest expedition. Welcome all, shake a hand would be so nice. That's my command, 'cause we're a friendly bunch of folks. Yeah, we have all sorts already here, and many more can appear, but we love them all. Have I made that clear? We have an open door policy with open minds. You better agree. We're a friendly bunch of folks. A port in a storm, your greetings will be warm. We're friendly
we all agree. If the Queen won't do anything about the walrus, then it's up to us. The only question is, what do we do?
That's a good question.
Well, thanks. I felt pretty good about it myself. Yeah.
You have a knack with that.
I do.
Right
I've had a
question,
history
right
of asking
time.
good
You
questions.
don't need to
No
know.
question that.
Listen, I'm not so sure I want to just walk up to the walrus and call it names or tell it to go away, you know?
I agree. That seems pretty mean.
We're not like that. We're all very nice. Don't you think?
I'm a very nice guy. Absolutely. Had a history of being a very nice guy.
Just make the walrus want to live somewhere else without actually doing anything to it. After all, if it feels unliked and unappreciated and unwelcome, well, then maybe it will want to stay out.
Well, maybe we don't have to do anything to the walrus. Maybe we should not do things.
Oh, you mean like not speak to it?
Or not invited to your tea party.
Or not tell it about anchovy night at the Wonderland Pizza Parlor.
Right. Or not invited to the Queen's garden party this afternoon. In fact, I think we should exclude it from all our parties.
Of course, by not telling it about the Queen's party, we aren't being mean. Are we?
Not us. I mean, we might be a little not nice, but we never mean to be mean.
No way. We wouldn't do that.
Us? Be mean? Not possible.
That's right.
Because after all,
We're not like that. No.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed. We are most definitely lost. Beg your pardon. Ma'am, beg your pardon. Oh. If you please, ma'am, we are much too tired to run around this tree. Now, if you would be so good as to give us directions, we'll be on our way. Capital. Much better.
Are you the walrus?
Oh, most definitely. And we have a question for you. Oh, no, check that. 2 questions.
Okay.
1, is this Wonderland? And 2, would you by any chance be the Queen?
Well, this is Wonderland. But I'm not the Queen. My name is Alice.
We are pleased to meet you, Alice.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Walrus.
Capital. So this is Wonderland. Such a very friendly place. We are quite pleased.
Why do you keep saying we?
Oh, gracious, where are my manners? I'll introduce you. Alice, this is my very best friend, Pinniped. Alice.
I don't see anyone.
Well, to be honest, Pinniped hasn't been feeling well. He's lost all the color from his face, and there was very little of that to begin with, since, of course, he's invisible.
Oh, I see. I mean, I don't see. No offense. But are you sure you're not stretching the truth just a little?
Stretching the truth? You mean making it all up? Oh, that's a good one, Alice. Oh, yes, Pinniped, she is a humorous girl. Oh, by the way, Alice, your shoe's untied.
I'm not falling for that old... Oh, I guess it is.
I must say, I hope everyone in Wonderland is as friendly as you, Alice. You make us feel right at home. It's a pleasure to meet you. We're feeling more at ease. Seems like life here might just be a breeze. We were a little queasy coming to this foreign place. Sometimes it's not easy being a brand new face. But everyone's told me that this town's a friendly one. I think that we'll fit in and have a lot of fun. People say it's nice here if you listen to what they say. So I know it's just silly to feel this way. Yes, we're new in town. We just got here, so we're new in town.
You're both very welcome. Hope you plan to settle down.
I think we'll like it here when we're in town. Oh, look at this! What better way to get acquainted with a place than to read its newspaper?
Look, it's a special Walrus edition.
Oh, why, so it is! What a friendly place! That's odd. Very odd. Wouldn't you say so, Pinniped?
What's the matter?
Listen to these headlines. Walrus housing in short supply. 3 out of 4 walruses dislike Wonderland weather.
Gee, I've never heard those things before.
Oh, my goodness. It certainly makes it sound like this isn't the sort of place we'd like to live. Maybe we shouldn't move here, Pinniped.
Wonderland is wonderful. You just need to meet the people who live here. Come on, I'll introduce you to all my friends. It's almost 4 o'clock and the Queen's having a garden party. Well, they'll all be there.
Party? But we haven't been invited. It might be rude to go without an invitation.
Well, then you can be my guest. Or guests. Please.
What do you think? Perhaps so. All right, we'll come. Thank you for asking us, Alice.
It's my pleasure. Meet me at the palace in an hour. It was great meeting you, Mr. Walrus. Oh, and you too, Mr. Pinniped. Bye.
Oh, I agree. She's a delightful girl. Well, let's get cleaned up before the party. By the way, that shirt you're wearing really doesn't go with your tie.
A walrus here? Say it's not so, Alice.
It doesn't surprise me. It's just like a walrus to come to a party uninvited. They have such bad manners.
That's not what happened. I invited him. Well, he wasn't going to come, but
Is that what he told you? Oh, Alice, can't you see he was lying? That's what walruses do.
No, he's not like that. He was very polite. He shook my hand.
You touched him? How'd you get the smell of old seaweed off your hands?
He didn't smell. In fact, he's the nicest walrus I've ever met. Of course, he's the only walrus I've ever met.
What's going on? Why are you all gossiping over there?
Excuse me. I beg your pardon. I am the walrus.
Hi, Mr. Walrus. Come meet all my friends. This is the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, we are honored, Your Majesty.
Well, I'll explain later.
I enjoy the party, Walrus. Oh, look at that. I forgot my party shoes. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Here, let me introduce you to everyone else. This is Mr. Rabbit, the March Hare, Mr. Dumb, Mr. D, and the Mad Hatter. Everyone, this is Mr. Walrus.
So wonderful to be here. It's certainly a thrill. We're so happy to meet you.
We? I knew it. Let one walrus in and more will follow.
No! He means his invisible friend, Mr. Pinniped.
Invisible friend? Don't tell me you believe that, Alice.
Listen, I have to go. I've got some crumpets in the oven.
Yes, I have some weeds in my carrot patch.
We need to catch up on coupons to flip.
Hey, where did everybody go?
They all said they had things to do.
What could they possibly have to do that's more important than staying here?
Actually, I think they left because of me. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I apologize for ruining the party. I never should have come to Wonderland.
No, wait! Please don't go!
Hold it right there, Buster. No one walks out of one of my parties. You're staying right here and having fun. That's an order.
But I've caused enough trouble already.
It's not you. It's the rest of my subjects that are the problem. Well, if they don't want to attend a party with a walrus, they'll get their wish. I hereby decree that from now on, only walruses and their friends may attend my parties. Come on, Alice. We need to put up a few signs before we go on with the party. Mr. Walrus, this is the Cheshire Cat.
Oh, an honor, sir, an honor. We've heard so much about you. And may I also present my friend Pinniped.
Mr. Pinniped is invisible.
Well, that's very smart of you, Mr. Walrus. After all, everyone knows invisible friends are the best kind.
Oh, yes, you two do have a lot in common. Your Majesty, we want to thank you again for this party. It's very nice of you. Very nice.
You're very welcome, Walrus. Wait a minute. I'll be right back.
This is strange. Why is the courtyard blocked off?
Can't you read the signs?
Private party, no rabbits, no hatters, no hares, and no Tweedles allowed.
Only walruses and their friends may attend, and it's your loss. The food at this party is the best I've ever had.
Oh,
Now who wants cherry cheesecake? It's from an old royal recipe.
boy, the food does look good.
Especially that cheesecake.
Well, I'm sure Her Majesty won't mind if I just go in and bring a little something out for everyone.
You take one more step and you'll be one sorry bunny.
I think this is
I still feel funny about this.
Your Majesty, I don't mind.
Well, I do mind. This is my party. And if I want to exclude someone, I'll do it.
I don't get it. Why is the Queen excluding us from the party and letting the walrus stay?
Is there something wrong with us?
Please, Your Majesty, why won't you let us join in the fun?
For no good reason at all. Just because you're you.
But it's not fair.
He's right, Your Majesty. It's not fair. Please, let them in.
Why? They didn't want you around. Well, now the shoe is on the other foot.
I know. I got dressed in a hurry this morning.
That's not what I mean. I mean, now you know what it's like to be treated unfairly, the way you treated the walrus.
You really should just talk to him. He's very nice.
I'll say, and he spoke up for all of you, even though you wanted to exclude him.
I guess we were pretty unfair.
How true that is.
Can you ever forgive us, Mr. Walrus?
Well, of course. No hard feelings. And I don't know if you've ever heard this about walruses, but we never hold a grudge.
That's okay. Now that we're friends, we'll hold it for you.
See, Your Majesty, does this mean everyone can join the party?
Well, since everyone is now a friend of the walrus, why not? It's about time we gave him a proper Wonderland welcome. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. The time has come for us to properly greet.
Sound the horns, beat the drum. Let's give a Wonderland welcome.
You'll have some fun here week after week. The land of wonder is very unique.
Cats may vanish, teacups may spin, your invisible friend will fit right in.
Clap your hands, stomp your feet. The time has come for us to properly greet.
Sound the horns, beat the drum. Let's give a Wonderland welcome.
I thank you for extending your hand. We can see now why it's such a wonderful land. You make a stranger feel just like a good friend. We're really looking forward to the good time we'll spend.
Clap your hands, stomp your feet. The time has come for us to properly greet. Sound the horns, beat the drum. Let's give a Wonderland welcome.
You know, Dinah, I was thinking, even though some kids were saying our new principal's supposed to be really mean, It's not right to think that about her before I've even met her. I think I should give her a chance. Oh, and maybe you should give that dog next door a chance. If you get to know him, he might be really nice. Well, maybe.